instead of using the curves to adjust exposure, because really the exposure is pretty good on this photo. It's just right. But the problem is that there's a little bit of a shadow created so that the baby's face isn't quite well enough lit. And that's usually the first thing that I like to work on, is correcting where the light is, either the exposure or adding more light where it needs to go. So in this case, I'm going to just add light where it needs to go, which is the baby's face. And the tool that I use to do that is under the Florabella Workflow and Retouch brushes. It's almost towards the top. It's called the reflector brush. So it's under exposure and light. So it's the reflector brush, and I run it, play it, and I put the opacity of the brush at about 30%, and I just pop a little bit more light in the baby's face. And I always think of it as like painting or a piece of art, where you learn in art school that there's always a light source. Like it looks like the light source in this image is coming like from up here, going down on the baby. So that's where I'm going to add light. See how there's light there, and there's light there, and there's light there. So I don't want a light down here because it wouldn't look natural. See how the shadows are down below? And it looks like the light is coming from above. So I'm just going to add light like I was a painter, just from above. Does that make sense? So after I do that, then I'm going to follow the same steps as I did before. I'm going to go to, I'm just going to do these quickly, but it's an overview, so it's good. So I'm going to go up to the newborn, the MCP Newborn Necessities action set. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to start like I did before with Paint On Red Baby Skin Fix. I'm going to play that. I'm going to keep my opacity at 31%, and I'm going to remove excess red. Above the lips, on the eyelids, a little bit on the forehead. There's some sort of in the chin. There always, almost always is in feet. That's why I always just tend to start at the feet. So I'm just sort of evening everything out, keeping some pink in the cheeks. Okay, and then just like before, I'm going to go to Paint On Jaundice Fix. And I'm going to remove the excess yellows. This baby doesn't have a lot of excess yellow on the tip of its nose, sort of a little bit in the hair. So I evened all that out. And then where the skin is a bit too gray, I'm going to add some warmth back in. So I run Paint On Gray Skin Fix, and then just add a little bit of warmth where I remove some of the red. But not where I remove the yellow. I don't want to add the yellow back in where I took it out. So see, that looks a little bit better. Then I'm gonna skip the step where I fix the skin, because you already know how to do that, and this baby doesn't need a lot. I'm gonna go down to the Florabella Workflow and Retouch brushes. Go down to eyes, because I do the Quicken Eyes next. I change my brush opacity to 100%. I reduce my brush size to just go over the eyelashes. And the mouth. Okay. And then I'm going to go to Beautiful creamy skin under the Little Pieces Beautiful Skin action set. I'm going to keep the brush at 100%. I'm going to go over just the skin, avoiding eyes, lips, mouth. And the creases of the skin, I'm going to avoid the creases. How pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to Little Pieces Workflow, run the soft warm wash. And then I'm going to go find it in my action palette. It's here under two parts, whitewash, which I reduced to 25%, soft warm wash, which I reduced to 15%, like that. Then I flatten everything. And I add some contrast. And reduce it to 0 opacity, and then just move it up a little bit until it starts to look a little bit sharper and good. Maybe about there. And then I flatten it again. And now I'm going to use my clone brush, or my healing brush would work too. And I'm going to remove some of these little spots in my black. Just kind of touch everything up. And there is my final edit. So you can see once you get good at it, now you might want to come back. This is another really good workflow. You could do everything to this point and then go back in and work on the skin. So you can work on the skin at this point, lifting it up and going back in however you do it. You do it so good. And fix skin. Okay, that's it.